The twin suns of Arvex-9 bled across the desert horizon like molten metal, painting the sky in hues of rust and sorrow. Among the scavenged ruins of the colony station, a young alien sat alone. Her name was Erin, a half-breed orphan of a war that had ended before she was even born. Her species, the Cathalari, were tall, slender, and famously gifted with psychic resonance. But Erin wasn't fully one of them. Her other half came from a species no one spoke of anymore. Her pale blue skin carried human freckles. Her eyes, unlike the golden orbs of her kind, shimmered green with grief. When the mating season came, a sacred cycle where the Cathalari bonded telepathically to share minds and lifespans, nobody chose her. The elder said her frequency was corrupted. The young laughed at her mismatched voice, her clumsy human gestures. And so, the poor orphan became the caretaker of the derelict hydroponic fields at the edge of the colony dome, where no one else wanted to work. She spoke to the plants. They didn't laugh at her. Then one day, a ship descended from the skies, bearing a single human explorer. Middle, the human who saw her. His name was Jonas Hale, a xenobiologist from the Federation. He'd been assigned to study post-war recovery on Arvex-9. He stepped from his shuttle in a white exosuit, his boots crunching on the sand as the heat rippled around him. When he saw Erin in the distance, tending to shimmering vines that coiled like liquid glass, he thought she was a mirage. "Hello," he called, voice filtered through his helmet. Erin toned, startled. Her mind brushed as like a feather touching steel. She felt his pulse, his confusion, his warmth. "Human," she whispered in the Cathalari tongue. "You're real." Jonas removed his helmet and smiled. "And you must be one of the locals. I didn't expect company out here." Their first days were awkward. She avoided his gaze, afraid he'd mock her too. But Jonas was patient. He spent hours asking her about the plants, the soil, the history of her people. In time, she began to laugh with him, soft, uncertain sounds that echoed in the lonely fields. When she sang old lullaby from her hybrid memory, Jonas listened in awe. Her voice seemed to vibrate through him, resonating with something ancient and aching. And when he learned she was an orphan, he said the words that would change everything. "You're not defective, Erin. You're extraordinary." She had never heard anyone say that. Not once. The bonding season. Weeks passed. Jonas recorded his findings and repaired parts of the old colony dome. The two worked side by side, sharing meals, sharing stories. Slowly, their thoughts began to blur at the edges. The Cathalari bond through telepathic synchronization, but it usually required ritual and matching frequencies. Yet one night, beneath the twin moons, Erin's hand brushed Jonas's, and their mind collided. A shock of memories flooded them both. Her birth in the ruins of a burned village, his lonely years traveling from world to world, the sound of both their mothers' lullabies merging into one melody. Jonas gasped, "I felt you." "I didn't mean to," she stammered. "Your mind, it's open." "Then don't close it," he said softly. And for the first time in Erin's life, someone accepted her resonance. Their minds entwined like roots merging underground. That night, the colony sensors recorded a spike of unknown psychic energy. Somewhere deep in the ruins, something stirred. The warning. A week later, the Cathalari Council summoned Jonas. Their leader, Elder Varen, a being of silver scales and glowing eyes, glared at the human through the mist-filled chamber. "You tamper with what you cannot comprehend," the elder hissed. "The orphan's resonance is unstable. It was quarantined for a reason." Jonas frowned. "She's not a danger. She's alive. She feels. She thinks. She absorbs," the elder interrupted. "Her hybrid mind was created by ancient experiments during the war. She carries a synaptic code, a network once used to control entire fleets through shared thought. If that awakens again, she will not be herself. She will be a weapon." Jonas refused to believe it, but when he returned to Erin that night, he saw her in the fields, surrounded by glowing vines pulsing in rhythm with a heartbeat. Her eyes shone gold and green at once. "Erin," he said carefully, "are you feeling all right?" "I can hear them now," she whispered, looking at the stars. "The old ones. They are calling." Jonas's stomach turned. "What old ones?" "The voices in the void. The cold want to awaken." The truth revealed. Erin's memories began to fracture. Each night she saw visions, giant starships drifting through black seas, mind connected across galaxies, humans and Cathalari fighting for control of psychic networks that once linked billions. Jonas realized the truth. The war that had left her orphan had also created her. She wasn't just a hybrid. She was an interface, a living key to an ancient weapon system buried beneath Avex 9. The orphan wasn't an accident. She was the last remnant of a failed experiment meant to merge human intuition with alien telepathy. And now, her emotions, the love, the loneliness, the bond she'd formed with Jonas, were unlocking that buried consciousness. "I didn't ask for this," she cried. "I just wanted to be loved." Jonas took her trembling hands. "You are loved, and we'll stop this together." But far below the colony, metal began to groan. A buried vault was awakening. The awakening. The ground split open near the old dome. Towers of obsidian metal rose, humming with psychic frequency. A holographic interface ignited in the sky, an ancient Cathalari network, reactivated by Erin's resonance. Alarms blared across the colony. The council declared an evacuation. Jonas refused to leave. He found Erin at the center of the field, surrounded by light. The vines wrapped around her arms like serpents. She was floating, eyes glowing white. "Erin, listen to me." Jonas shouted through the storm of energy. "I can stop it," she said, voice layered with thousands of echoes. "But if I do, I won't survive. The network will consume my mind." Jonas shook his head. "We'll find another way." "There isn't one." She smiled sadly. "This is what I was made for. But now, I finally know why. Because of you." He stepped closer, ignoring the burning wind. "Don't say goodbye. If you die, I'll never." Her hand touched his cheek, and a surge of energy rippled through him. "You won't forget me," she whispered, "because part of me will always stay with you." Then she turned toward the rising towers and unleashed a wave of psychic light that tore across the sky. The sacrifice! The network screamed. The stars seemed to flicker as if the universe itself was holding its breath. Jonas fell to his knees as the light engulfed everything. He felt her mind expand beyond flesh, reaching into infinity. For a moment, he could see what she saw, every living being connected in one vast thread of consciousness. Then it ended. When he awoke, the towers were gone. The sand was silent. The colony still stood, but Erin was nowhere to be found. All that remained was a single vine, still glowing faintly with a pulse. Jonas took it in his hand and felt a whisper in his mind, "Thank you for seeing me," ending what he later found out. Months later, the Federation dispatched a cleanup crew to Avex 9. They found Jonas living alone in the rebuilt dome, tending to a small garden. When the captain asked him what he was doing there, he only smiled and said, "Waiting."